Welcome to all of you SJEC e-learning YouTube classes. Student, please subscribe the channel to update about your syllabus. Okay student, now today we start the topic linear momentum and Newton's second law. So firstly, what is the linear momentum? Okay. What is a linear momentum? It is our common experience that if two bodies of different masses are moving with the same velocity, they are brought to rest in same time. The force needed to stop the heavier body is more than that of the lighter body. Similarly, if two bodies of the same mass are moving with different velocities, then to stop them in the same time, the force needed for the faster moving body is more than for the slower moving body. So, the force needed to stop a moving body in a definite time depends both on mass of the body and its velocity. Actually, the force needed to stop a moving body in a given time depends on the product of both the mass and velocity, which is called the linear momentum of the moving body. So, what is the linear momentum? In one line, linear momentum of body is the product of its mass and velocity, and it is denoted by this. So momentum is equal to mass into velocity. That's okay. Momentum is a vector quantity because it depends on the direction. Right? Unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. It is the SI unit, and CGS unit is gram centimeter per second. That's okay. This is CGS and this is SI. So, change in momentum. What is the change in momentum? That is delta P. You know, what is the name of this symbol? This is delta. Delta means change, small change in the quantity. So, if we write delta P is equal to delta mv, the change in product mv can be either due to change in mass m or due to change in velocity. Due to change in both the mass and velocity, if mass remains constant, then change in momentum is due to the change in velocity. Then we write, if a constant mass, then we write delta P is equal to m delta v when mass constant. Okay. So, what is the rate of change of momentum? Rate of change of momentum, when a force is applied on a moving body, its velocity change. Due to change in velocity of a body, its momentum also change. Let force is F be applied on a body of mass m and time t due to which its velocity change from u to v. So initial momentum is equal to mu, and final momentum is equal to mv. So change in momentum is equal to mv minus mu. That's okay. So rate of change of momentum is equal to change in momentum upon time. Rate of change of momentum is equal to change in momentum upon time. Change in momentum upon time. So, change in momentum is m v minus u, and what is the time? T. You know that acceleration is equal to v minus u upon time. Acceleration is equal to v minus u upon time. So this is m v minus u upon time, then m a. Right? So rate of change of momentum is equal to ma. Rate of change of momentum is equal to ma. Okay? This relation holds true when mass of body remain constant. When a force acts on a body, the rate of change in momentum of body is equal to the product of mass of body and acceleration produced in it due to that force, provided that the mass of body remain constant. So, what is the Newton's second law of motion? So, Newton's second law of motion is that according to the Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied on it, and the change in momentum take place in the direction in which the force is applied. How? Firstly, when a force is applied on a body, it produces acceleration in the body due to which the velocity and hence the momentum of body changes. So, the rate of change of momentum is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. And the Newton's second law of motion, that F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma, then the Newton's second law of motion can be stated in terms of change in momentum as follows. According to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied on it, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction in which the force is applied. Then F is equal to ma. That is the Newton's second law. Okay? Now, to obtain Newton's first law of motion from second law of motion. How? From Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. You know that? If F is equal to 0, then A is also equal to 0. This means that if no force is applied on the body, its acceleration will be 0. If the body is at rest, it will remain at rest, and if it is moving, it will remain moving in the same direction with the same speed. So a body not acted upon by any external force does not change its state of rest or of motion. This is the statement of Newton's first law of motion. That's okay? Now, some example of Newton's second law of motion. Some example of Newton's second law of motion. While catching a ball, the cricketer withdraws his hand along with the ball. Why? Because if the cricketer does not pull back his hand and stop the ball as soon it touches his hands, he gets very little time to stop the ball. But if the cricketer pulls back his hand along with the ball, he takes a longer time to stop the ball. The force exerted on the hand of cricketer by the fast moving ball is less when he withdraws his hand. So, cricketer avoid the chance of injury to his palms by withdrawing his hand along with the moving ball while catching it. So, second example, athletes often land on sand after taking a high jump. Why? Because when an athlete lands from a height on a hard floor, he may hurt his feet because his feet come to rest almost